And then check this out. I almost crashed. I'm like, I'm going to take the inside and I'm going to pause it and just look how close this gets. I'm like, oh shit, bad idea, abort. And I don't want to touch my brakes, right?
That's got to be the intro for your fucking video.
Hey guys, welcome back. All right, this is the Dash for Cash Criterium in Pleasanton, California. I am joined with two of my teammates. That's the first TriCast on the channel. I'm excited about it. I'm with No Name Cat 1.
What's up, y'all?
And I am with the gas station food cyclist, also known as Christopher.
Howdy.
And they were both in this race. In fact, we had like 6 of us in this race. Team Tehroon Elite, and we came to win for sure. This is a square. You can see in the bottom right. It's a windy square, and it's flat, and IC3 puts this race on. This is a cool course because it's $10 a lap. It's called Dash for Cash, and every lap, first person across the line, it's basically a preem every lap for $10, and it makes for some exciting racing because it's just really aggressive and really fast, and you can see that there's some action happening right now. We're inside a 10K already. I've fast forwarded, and kind of a lot's happened already. What was our plan coming in, guys?
Get as many preems as possible and then win.
That's a pretty good plan.
Yep. Sweep up all the cash.
Every last dollar. We didn't quite get every last dollar, but I mean, like, Matt, you got like 4 or 5 preems, right?
I got 4 preems on my side.
And you got a good result too. We're gonna save that for the end, though. No spoilers. And Chris, you were involved in multiple breakaways. You got a number of preems. Overall, very successful day. There were, like I said, about 6 of us. We were definitely the team to look out for on the day because there were 6 of us, and we've been on a hot streak lately. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna pat ourselves on the back right now and say we've been doing really well.
What did the announcer say that in the last like 6 races or something we won 4, and then I was like trying to double check him to make sure that was true or something, and I like couldn't legitimately find the answer as into like what he was talking about. But yeah, we've been good lately, and
we've been on a lot of podiums, and we've been finding the top step a lot lately too. But we're not the only team out here. There's Mike's, there's Cliff. Who are some of the other big teams? A-Main was there.
A-Main had a few guys.
They raced well too. I mean, I told Robert after the race, I was like, were there only 2 of you? Because it felt like there were about 6 or 7 of you guys out there today.
Yeah, so they have that new guy, Eric, who he's a former Seattle guy, and he's pretty good. He's super smart too. So. And
then there's these 2 Cliff Bar guys here. They were pretty active. So because there were 6 of us, this is kind of a blessing and a curse, right? Because it's nice because you have a lot of cards to play, but at the same time, like, it's up to you to chase everything back if you're not in it, and it's up to you to kind of dictate how you want the race to go. And the way we all wanted the race to go is like something I've said on this channel before, and something I'll say again, is just get as many people in race-winning positions as possible. So if we didn't like the composition of the breakaway, even if we were in it, we shut it down. Chris, you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I've been taking notes from, I'm not going to say exactly who, but there's a pretty prominent rider in Northern California who I think is exceptional at getting in a breakaway and then killing it. And I've been trying to figure out how they do it. And I think I'm getting pretty good at it. So, like, there were several situations in this race where I would actually contribute, establish a break, and then when I wanted it to get pulled back, I'd pull the proverbial parachute on it, and we'd get caught. And that's really rewarding to be able to pull stuff like that off tactically.
But you put yourself in this win-win where, like, if you're in it and you shut it down, like you say, that's just like means you're not doing any work. And if people want to continue doing work, us as a team, like, we're fine with that because you're up there getting a free ride. You can do a big counterattack. You'll be more fresh for the sprint. So that's a race-winning position. And then if people want to chase it back, that's not us. That means we get a free ride back in the chase group, and I'm saving myself for the sprint. By the way, that was kind of my personal goal. Was I told you guys before the race, my plan is to do as little work as possible. And aside from a couple of little attacks and digs I put in to jump across to things, I did very little. I was trying to save my legs for the end, and you guys helped me do that.
Yeah.
Matt, you're jack of all trades. Matt wins from field sprints. Matt wins from breakaways, and
and Matt also did a lot of work in this race.
Mostly breakaways, yeah. And in this race, my plan was to try to get in a breakaway, take all the preems, and then win from the breakaway.
Kind of ambitious.
But, yeah, a little ambitious, but we had a little backup plan, and that was you, Jeff.
So I forgot to mention SP2's in this race too, and they have Josh. I don't know if he wants me to use his last name or not. They have Josh. He's a strong sprinter, and they're always a threat too. And there are a lot of individual guys that are really strong. Here's Ariel in the light blue in front of me. He's won P1-2 races. He wins a ton of 35 plus races. And
yeah, I mean, watching Ariel right now, he's like pretty sneaky how he's moving up, and he actually becomes like a pretty major threat in this race. So definitely keep an eye out on him coming in with like 4 laps
and
to go or whatever.
Grundman on my left.
Yeah.
Dave Grundman is super fast in a breakaway, in a sprint, you name it.
So we got a little attack from.
Yeah, we've totally forgot to mention what's going on. So there are a few riders off the front here, and you guys immediately get to the front and start chasing, which is awesome because that means I don't have to. I can sit in and continue to save my legs for the sprint.
Yeah, I mean, Blaze is just right in front of you right now, and he's doing a good job keeping his head on a swivel, checking to make sure where you are and stuff, asking you what he needs to be doing. So he's gonna work his way to the front after this corner. Am I off the front?
I think you just win. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I didn't want you to skip over your glory.
we already pulled back Ariel at this point.
Ariel
right?
just got pulled back. And then the counter went, and then even after chasing, you still went with this counterattack move, which is kind of predictable, right? When you chase back a breakaway,
something's gonna go.
A counter's gonna go, and you guys anticipated it, reacted, and now you're part of it. And Christopher, you're not doing any work up in that group, right?
Well, so I did work to establish it and get the exact gap that I wanted. A gap that I felt was comfortable that would stay off until the very last lap. And then when I wanted to pull the ripcord, I could pull the ripcord, and that would get caught right at the perfect time for my sprinter in the pocket, aka you. So you're taking the pressure off us. There's still 4 or 5 of us in the group back here who now don't have to chase this group because we're like, oh, we got a teammate up there. We're not chasing that. So now it's up to these guys who missed it. But Cliff's up there. SP2's up there. So well, so SP2 was talking to me after the race, and they said that they kind of had the same idea where they were using a sacrificial lamb as well, up in that little front move because they were looking for Josh at this point.
Gotcha. Josh is their sprinter. I mentioned him before, and in my rear view back there now he's kind of obscured, but Gavin, Mark Pro, probably the guy at this point in the race that I'm most worried about, and at the beginning of the race and in the middle of the race I'm most worried about because he's fast.
Of the race.
He's one of these guys also that's like, oh, I can ride in a breakaway and I can also win a field sprint. So
I mean, Gavin has more talent in his pinky finger than I have in my entire body. So
I hope Gavin's listening to this right now. Well, not right now, but I hope eventually he listens to this. And that's where we're at right now. So now you can see these attacks going because now people are like, oh shit, every team is represented up the road except me. I better get across to it. And we're like, yes. I'm licking my chops. When I see this, I'm like, oh, people are desperate. I'm just going to enjoy this free ride.
Well, I'm glad that's how you feel because I'm watching this and I'm just like, holy moly, you're getting swarmed.
But it's fine. But I'm not reacting to those surges, right? That's the last thing you want to do as a sprinter is like be doing these big surges in the last couple of laps. I'll let those surges go. I'll intentionally lose a few spots. And then when the surge gets brought back and things slow down, I'll move back up a few spots. I'm like not panicking right now.
Yeah, so that's why you're a sprinter and I'm not.
Then Christopher, you have a good chance of just sitting in and doing something special from the breakaway because you're not going to be contributing to it. So now I'm on Gavin's wheel. I'm pretty happy about this. This is the headwind, by the way. Start finish straight right here for the second to last time. We're coming into 1 lap to go. Gavin's going to bring me up right here. Happy about this in the headwind. He's doing a little bit of work. I'm getting a little bit of draft, and I went from not being so thrilled about my position to being pretty stoked about my position. And I see the gap up to you and the breakaway group up the road, Christopher, and right about this point, I'm yelling at Blaze. I'm saying, go Blaze, because I'm like, okay, it's going to get caught. I'm in good position, and I want Blaze to lead it out just to keep it fast, because now I don't want to get swarmed, right? Now I can't afford to get swarmed here in the last lap. And I just want to maintain my good position. By Blaze going hard kind of assures that I'm maintaining my good position. So I'm just taking stock here. I see Josh is on my wheel, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Matt on my right. Matt, what's going on?
So yeah, this was a hard fucking race, and I'm tired as hell at this point, and I'm hoping that somehow you're gonna find my wheel, and then we can do a lead out. At this point, I couldn't actually tell if you were on my wheel.
No, I was definitely trying to get across to your wheel because that's how we won the race last year. And then all of a sudden this gap opens up, like the most epic gap, and I just dive it, and then all of a sudden I have the inside line, I have this epic draft. Simultaneously, Christopher's caught, and now it's like Matt's chasing this attack. I'm chasing the guy that's chasing Matt. My position couldn't be better here, and I'm thinking about the sprint at this point. I'm clicking into my 11, and I'm like, I'm gonna take the inside line, and mistakes were made, and I almost wiped myself out. Have to scrub a little bit of speed. Now I'm stuck in my 11, and I just have to open the sprint immediately. 250 meters of headwind. Hurts like crazy, but I just put my head down. I got as arrow as I possibly could, and got it by about a bike length in the end. So I'm super happy to come away with my first win of the year, especially after a string of like 4 second-place finishes. And man, we put on a good race today. We made some mistakes in the middle of the race, but holy shit, we just brought it together at the end, guys.
Can we slow-mo that corner?
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
Because it is bonkers.
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. All right, so we've come back to 720 meters to go, and now Alto Velo, you see, opens up this attack, and he's going to pass through the remnants of the break. Well, Matt, you're on it like flies on shit, and this pulls out this big track sprinter too. So that opening was like basically the most critical part of the race for me. Is I found this opening, and now I am on this attack that has opened up a gap behind me. Everyone behind me is doing the same amount of work as the guy on the front, so this is great news for me. And as we come up to this corner, I'm going to pause it right here. Exactly 300 meters to go. And I'm going to talk about my thought process because some mistakes were made. As good as my move was a couple hundred meters ago to get on this move, I just get a little bit too ambitious here. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to come underneath. Everyone's way too wide here. And I'm going to try to come underneath and take this corner first. With 300 meters to go in a headwind, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm an idiot. Matt, you're a sprinter. What do you think? Is that a good idea? Fucking stupid. I'm just like...
It never seems like at the time, it's not a good idea. It doesn't seem like it, but then if you win, it's a great idea, right?
Well, from my cyclocross experience, I'm looking at the guy in front of you, and I'm like, he's gonna shut the door on the inside.
No, I was not thinking that. So I'm like, now I'm gonna play it in slow mo here, and I'm like, here I come underneath in my 11 tooth, and I'm like, oh fuck, he closed the door, so I have to scrub a little bit of speed. And now the problem. Close call. The next problem I'm having, other than scrubbing speed, is now I am in my 5311. And when I'm doing 1350 watts, I'm not changing gears. There's no time to hesitate and change gears. So I started this sprint down at 90 RPMs. 90 cadence, not good for a sprint, but I am just head down, yanking on the bars as hard as I possibly can. And hey, it was enough to get the job done. So
were you track sprinting at this point? Because Eric behind you was definitely track sprinting. He was like still in his saddle. Like,
no, I was out of the saddle the whole way.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning into another NorCal Cycling Videos production, and looking forward to more of these with my pals. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you for having us.
No Name Cat 1.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Peace.
We were in pretty much every single move. If we weren't in every single move, we chased down every single move, and then my teammates chased down everything towards the end. I just played the lazy sprinter.